the things that I need to keep into mind before I opt my supervisor? I am planning to enroll for a PhD program, and what are the things that I should take into account before I finalize my supervisor? The very first thing is how expert your supervisor is. You are actually enrolling into PhD to create new information, to build something which could optimize the existing solutions, and therefore if your supervisor is an expert in the field, no doubt you would have an excellent command on what you want to do. So the very first thing I would say is the expertise of the supervisor. The second important thing is the number of current research publications. Now, current research publications are an important marker that adds up to the credentials, but it is always not the case that a good supervisor would have huge lot of publications. It could be sometimes a case that supervisor is a well-renowned personality within the academic community, within the peer groups, but when it comes to research publication, the supervisor is not ready to do publications which are not up to the mark, and therefore the relative number of publications could be less. But you must go by the quality of the publication, the amount of effort that would have been put behind each of the research works. The next is, as a supervisor, what is the experience? Are you the first PhD candidate who is joining under that supervisor? Definitely someone or the other would be the first PhD candidate. So sometimes that also happens, but if the professor is a senior professor, then you can understand how many candidates have been awarded, where those candidates have been placed, because you also get a platform where you can actually get future opportunities to work forward. The next is, what is the opinion of other students working under the supervisor? Sometimes the other students who are working under the supervisor are not happy, they won't recommend you, but go by your gut feeling. Sometimes the case is so that they might be not that hardworking as your mentor is or as your supervisor is, but you are extremely hardworking, so your opinion works well with the opinion of the supervisor. So understand that it's not always by the other's opinion. You can take those opinions, but always have your gut feeling before you decide which personality or which supervisor or which faculty is the best faculty for you. The next is professionalism and personality. So how professional your supervisor is as a teacher, as a mentor, as a guide, how well you can be nurtured under the supervisor. Note that you are not taking supervisor as an encyclopedia, as a living encyclopedia, that all things could be found directly on the internet. What you require is someone who could guide you ethically, someone who could nurture the idea of questioning, the idea of reasoning, and that's extremely important. It can also be a scenario that your research areas are not fully aligned to the supervisor's research area. In that case, you can have either an interdisciplinary combination where you can bring your research areas into confluence, or you can also consider a little deviation where the supervisor is okay to work with you. So those are the things you must decide before going for the PhD and finalizing your supervisor. Also, in some cases, there is a panel committee which is there. In that case, you are allotted the supervisor. But a good thing I would recommend is, if you have some supervisor in mind, you can, prior to the finalization, you can actually meet that supervisor in person, get to know about the institution, about the way of working, and get an insight about the works which are done by the supervisor, and that would probably help you understand that is there a possibility you can secure a seat with the supervisor that you want. So those are the things that you should definitely keep in mind before finalizing a supervisor.